These lines are Taiwan's 14 underwater internet cables that connect the island to the rest of the world. In August, China held military drills in these 6 zones on top of some of this critical infrastructure. And while Beijing hasn't said these cables are a target, China's increasing military activity in the region is putting this vulnerable connection at risk.
If the communication was not able to function very well during the wartime, that will become a disaster.
So here's how Taiwan's internet is under threat and what the island is doing to beef up and defend it. Submarine cables are bundles of fiber optic lines about the thickness of a garden hose. 98% of international internet traffic goes through them, and the cables surrounding Taiwan play a critical role in connecting the Asia-Pacific region to the web.
North Asia to Southeast Asia is need to either go through Taiwan or nearby ocean. A lot of countries will be impacted if Taiwan cable has an issue.
Kenny Huang runs the Taiwan Network Information Center, a nonprofit that works with the government to coordinate cybersecurity research and response.
Everything relies on the internet. So the importance of submarine, just like the blood to our body.
But this infrastructure is precarious, even when there's no military activity nearby. Fishing and other maritime activity can damage the cables, especially in the busy seas around Taiwan. And natural disasters like earthquakes or typhoons are capable of disabling multiple cables at once. That happened in December 2006, when an earthquake in Taiwan cut several cables, drastically restricting communications across Asia.
During the earthquake, I remember telecommunication company, they are only able to maintain some portion of their voice call. The data communication was very poorly maintained.
And security analysts say this infrastructure could be particularly vulnerable to being damaged or disabled on purpose.
If there's a conflict between Taiwan and China, there are very high possibility that the initial target could be a cable landing station.
These dots are Taiwan's landing stations, the places where a submarine cable connects to a local network. The island has 4 of these locations, and they were focal points during a series of war games run by a U.S. think tank. Last year, it explored what Chinese military action in the region around Taiwan would look like. In these war games, Chinese teams targeted Taiwan's landing stations with missiles and cyber attacks, which cut off the internet in Taiwan and severely limited traffic for Japan, Guam, and Hawaii. Each time, China gained the upper hand because Taiwan's team was forced to shift its focus away from defense to restoring its ability to communicate with the outside world. To repair any damaged infrastructure, Taiwan would need help from private companies and nearby countries like Japan. But security analysts say any assistance would be unlikely amid military activity. Just take a look at what happened to the Trans-Pacific Express during China's recent drills. On July 25th, this cable, which connects Taiwan to other countries, suffered a failure off the north coast of the island. About a week later, a Japanese cable repair company dispatched a ship to fix it. But 3 days later, China's military exercises began, and the ship was unable to fix the connection.
It's questionable if any maintenance operator willing to repair the cable, because in the wartime, I believe that will be very tough for them to do that kind of maintenance.
China's State Council Information Office didn't respond to a request for comment about whether Beijing considers Taiwan's cable infrastructure a target and if it would allow repairs during military activity. So Taiwan is looking to protect itself by adding more connections to the internet, like this new cable called Apricot, which has funding from Meta, Alphabet, and telecom operators in Taiwan, Japan, and the Philippines. It's due to start service in 2024. And alongside laying more cables, Taiwan is also looking to create a backup with this. Low Earth orbit satellite systems like SpaceX's Starlink can provide internet access without any physical connections over land or sea. During a visit to SpaceX's headquarters in California in July, Taiwan's Minister of Science and Technology said the island was committed to continuing its close and mutual cooperation with the company. Taiwan's Minister of Digital Affairs said in a statement that the island's internet is a national security issue, and the government is allocating funds to multiple solutions, including 5G base stations and satellite connectivity. But integrating these options into Taiwan's communication systems could take years.
Satellite communication is not something like a plug and play. We need to make sure when we need it, it will be in place.
China, which sees Taiwan as part of its territory, has vowed to take back the island by force if necessary. As the risk of a conflict escalates, the internet is just one of many strategic resources, as well as ports and manufacturing, that Taipei is stepping up to protect.